What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm the Viking. This is my review for the Chucky TV series episode 3. So far this season, it's been a thrill. I've enjoyed this so much. The kills, the humor, the directing style has been just very refreshing for this franchise, and I could see Chucky living on for a long time more because of this TV series. I don't know if it's going to get season 2 and live on after that, or maybe another movie, but what they've done so far with these 3 episodes with a brand new cast, none of the original cast have come back yet, has been brilliant. Really, really has. But last week's episode, Jake was pushed to the edge and Chucky kind of convinced him, Jake, you should kill before you're killed in this world. Because, Lexi dressed up as his dead dad at the party. That really annoyed Jake, and Chucky says, let's go get Lexi. So basically this episode is Jake getting the courage to kill Lexi, and he tries to, but it doesn't quite come off for him. We get flashbacks to Charles Lee Ray as a kid, his birthday party, and we hear on the radio that there's a serial killer in the town, and the people at the party, the adults, are very, very afraid, and that's something that comes back up near the end of this episode. But back to modern day, Miss Fairchild being questioned by Detective Evans, who of course is Devon's mother, asking about Jake Wheeler, because Detective Evans is very suspicious of Jake Wheeler and maybe even the Chucky doll, but the teacher, Miss Fairfield, doesn't want to talk about Jake, and I think there's definitely something up about her. Maybe she is Chucky's kid from Seed of Chucky. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. But then we have Devon and Jake having a conversation, and it looks like they both like each other, but then later in the episode we find out that Devon was only recording this conversation, which is a little bit, not nice, because remember, he has a murder podcast and there's a lot of murders happening right now. Miss Fairchild talks to Jake outside the school, saying that I've organized a meeting between your guardians and Lexi's parents to try and sort this out and to stop this bullying. And Jake doesn't like the idea at the start, but he has to quickly hurry the conversation along and say, yeah, that's perfect, no problem, I agree, Miss Fairchild. But actually, he's tracking Lexi's phone because he wants to kill her. And Lexi's out on her jog, and Jake is chasing after her. A really cool shot of him holding a knife while running. And I was like, Jake's pretty serious this episode. He really wants to kill Lexi. And I thought he would pull it off. But as this kind of sequence goes on, we find out that it's not Lexi at all. But I like this because, Lexi's very afraid. She thinks maybe somebody's watching her and something like that. But the camera style, the directing really puts you off because you think it's Lexi. But actually we find out it's Junior who's running, and he was the one who picked up Lexi's phone because she forgot or something like that. But he was out for a jog and Jake thought it was her, and he runs up behind Junior, and Junior doesn't see the knife, just kind of calls Jake weird or freak and runs off. But then we have a conversation between Junior and Lexi where Junior's kind of standing up for Jake, saying, you shouldn't have did that at the party, that was mean, you should apologize. But inside Lexi's house, her sister is kind of raving and ranting because she wants the Chucky doll, her sister Caroline. And her parents, I think her mother's the mayor, they spoil their child, of course. I think Caroline's a genius, and Lexi's left off to the side a lot as a child in this house because she's not the star of the family. She's not the brainiac that her sister maybe is. But Caroline says that she wants the Chucky doll, and then Lexi thinks, oh, maybe I could get that doll off Jake. But this was a very funny sequence with Jake because he's testing out gardening tools to kill Lexi. And he's looking at these weapons like, how can I kill someone with this? And it was a very funny sequence. I really enjoyed it. But then Lexi actually comes up behind him while he's testing out these weapons. And for a second I thought he was going to kill her right there and then. But he chickened out. Lexi wanted to apologize, and in return she was hoping that Jake would give her the Chucky doll. Jake freaks out and says, no, you're not getting them ever. Then Lexi, like a brat's like, I came here to apologize to you and you won't even do me a favor. But she goes off, and then Jake goes inside and he starts stabbing his sculpture, and Chucky's like, you chickened out, huh? Yeah, that happens. And Chucky talks about completion anxiety, where you kind of have anxiety because you missed out on killing somebody. You didn't complete the mission. I suppose that could happen in all walks of life. You have completion anxiety, and that's what Jake has right now. And Chucky's like, let me fix this for you. Let me be the one that kills Lexi. What we do is we give Lexi what she wants. give her to me. So that's kind of what their plan is. Now, Detective Evans, of course, Devon's mother, hears Devon in his room listening to recordings of Jake, and she basically tells him to stop hanging around with Jake, and Devon gets really pissed off at that, because I think in a way he does like him, but he is yet to convey that to Jake. But I think he's using him also for his podcast. But Jake goes over to Lexi's house and gives her the Chucky doll for her sister Caroline and leaves. And this look is brilliant right here, because he knows this is probably the last time he will ever see Lexi alive. Chucky runs after Lexi to kill her straight away. Pretty cool sequence here. But then Lexi opens the door and she is holding a party because her parents are out of the house. You've got Oliver, Devon and Junior for this party at Lexi's house, which is a silent disco, and it's pretty awkward to watch them dance later in the episode. But cutting back to the school, Miss Fairchild is having this meeting with Lexi's parents and Jake's guardians, and Bree is late, which adds to the theory that she's having an affair. But maybe she's up to something else, maybe, but probably an affair, because Chucky overheard her on the phone in episode 1, and she's being very, very sneaky. But the principal, Miss Fairchild, are talking about bullying and to settle this issue between Jake and Lexi, because it's gone pretty bad, the talent show, and then Lexi dressing up as Jake's dead father. Miss Fairchild shows them the video of it. They're disgusted because Lexi's parents thought my poor Lexi wouldn't do anything like that, but then they see the video, which they're mortified about. But then we have Lexi putting her sister Caroline and Chucky to bed, and she sings them a song. And I want to talk about this scene because Lexi sings the song Don't Fear the Reaper. And if you've ever seen Scream 1, when Sidney Prescott is in a room, her boyfriend Billy Loomis crawls in her window, and there's a song playing in that scene which is Don't Fear the Reaper. And at the end of that movie, spoiler alert, Billy Loomis is the killer. So I'm wondering, is this a hint that Caroline, Lexi's sister, will be the one to kill her in future episodes? That's just a theory I have right now. Or maybe Chucky tries to turn Caroline into a killer. Maybe. Let's see how that develops. But the party has to continue, and Lexi is very close to Oliver. Because remember, in episode 1, when Chucky revealed everything that was on Lexi's phone, there was pictures of Oliver. And then Junior gets jealous of them dancing, so he steps in and dances with Lexi, and then Oliver gets jealous as well. But then we have a flashback to Charles Lee Ray as a kid. He's in bed, he hears some noise, he gets out of the bed, he goes down the stairs to see his father being stabbed right in front of him and being murdered, and his dad tells him to run away. But this goes back to the start of this episode. Over the radio, we heard that there was a serial killer in town, and this serial killer has now killed Charles Lee Ray's dad. We cut now back to what's happening in the now with Chucky killing Oliver. He thought he was stabbing Lexi, and then he goes, fuck it, and he just starts killing Oliver. And you know what? It looked a bit weird because they're trying to make the doll as realistic as they can, and here was a little bit off, but I still liked it. I really, really did. And he's dead. They did it. They killed off a kid in this show. Chucky killed a kid. Crazy. I didn't think they would do that. Maybe, and I was a little bit surprised at this show that it's having so much blood and gore, which is great. I just thought, oh, maybe they wouldn't show it all because it's on TV. But we get to see Chucky stab this guy, Oliver, in the back countless times and kills him, which is kind of sad, but Chucky's just ruthless. And then we have Lexi smoking a joint in her room, and she sees Chucky's shoes, her little tiny shoes, and she gets up to investigate, and then she drops her joint. Chucky jumps on her back and tries to strangle her. And this was very, very funny. It really, really was, because you have Chucky trying to strangle her, but his legs are dangling and moving really fast. And it reminded me of Child's Play 2 with Kyle, when Chucky was trying to do a similar thing with Kyle, trying to strangle her, and his legs are just moving. The joint kind of causes a fire, and now we have a massive fire in Lexi's room. This is brilliant. This is really, really good. You see the fear in Lexi's face. She's crying. She's screaming. A killer doll is right in front of her. But some of the shots in this scene were probably the best of the entire series so far, and probably the best of any Chucky movie ever. Look at these shots of Chucky there and the flames behind him. He's holding the knife. He's laughing. He's getting ready to kill Lex. You know, that's just a brilliant shot right there. Really enjoy this. And there hasn't been any filler in this Chucky series so far. It's all been progressing the story or learning more about Charles Lee Ray. It's doing really, really well. And I'm excited for future episodes, but of course everyone is having their headphones on. It's a silent disco. They don't hear the fire, the flames, they don't see it. So that was a pretty cool shot as well. You know, they're all dancing really awkwardly for the silent disco, and there is a massive fire happening upstairs. This is a great shot here as well of Chucky. Just brilliant. Really, really love it. He looks real. He does. He just looks real. I like this than Seed of Chucky or Bride of Chucky, where they kind of use CGI for Chucky. I like this kind of natural look. But then we go back to the past to Charles Lee Ray, and this is kind of his origin as a serial killer. Because the serial killer is looking for them. He's in the wardrobe with his mom. And instead of the serial killer killing his mother, Charles Lee Ray kills his own mom to impress the serial killer. That's how messed up this kid is. He killed his own mother. And it gets even worse. Instead of the serial killer trying to kill Charles Lee Ray, he gives him pointers about cleaning up after himself. How messed up is that? And his dead mom in the background. And the serial killer just leaves. And then there was a great shot of the serial killer just walking through the town of Hackensack. Awesome music playing. Awesome voiceover by Chucky. Like a killer is born. You know, they're not created, they're born. That was his origin story. And this serial killer just leaves. I don't think he comes back or anything in future episodes. Maybe he does. Maybe he ends up being the mentor for Charles Lee Ray as a serial killer. I don't know. Maybe Charles Lee Ray killed him. I don't know. But this was an awesome shot. This was an awesome episode. Chucky episode 3, guys, was insane. I loved it. I can't wait to see the OG cast come back. But in fairness to Don Mancini, the creator of the show and the creator of Chucky, he's keeping me interested with all these unknown characters. The Lexis, the Jakes, Devin, Junior. He's doing a pretty good job, and I can't wait to see the original cast come back in. Probably my prediction is episode 5, 6 when they'll come into it to expand the story even more, and a lot of twists will happen at that stage. But this episode, guys, was solid, awesome, love this show. It's really, really good. But as always, guys, I'm very curious to hear your thoughts about the Chucky TV series. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel for all of this movie, TV, news, reviews, all that good stuff. And if you can't comment on this video because YouTube turns off the comments because they think it's a children's show, when it's not, because it has a lot of younger cast in it, come follow me on social media at Movies That Matter on all social media and tell me your thoughts on the Chucky TV series. DM me if you want, if that's what you want to do, or just tweet at me or tag me in your post. But guys, this was awesome. Love this show. Love this franchise. I love how the original voice actor, the original cast, the original creator are all still involved, and it really, really shows. Guys, thanks for checking out this video, and make sure you're checking out the Chucky TV series and the previous movies, because it's all going to come together pretty soon as we go through this entire season.